Fifth Class Saves Christmas, written by Fifth Class. One day in December, Fifth Class were working quietly and diligently. I'm just going to run to the printer. I'll be back in a minute, announced Mr. Scully. Just after he left the room, there was a low rumble coming from the roof. Suddenly, with a loud crash, there were 2 feet dangling from the ceiling. Fifth Class looked on with astonishment and confusion. Suddenly, Santa Claus crashed through the ceiling loudly and was standing in front of Fifth Class.
Ho ho ho, he chuckled. I heard you were the best class in the world, and I was looking for your assistance. The class let out a simultaneous shriek of excitement. Why do you need our help? Questioned David. When can we leave? Cried Murray. When can we leave before Mr. Scully comes back? Yelled Maya. Can we ride in your sleigh? asked Dara excitedly.
Mr. Scully is on the naughty list, so he won't be coming, replied Santa. I haven't time to explain now. We need to leave and get to the North Pole to save Christmas, he proclaimed. Everyone was incredibly excited. They couldn't believe what was happening at all. Santa dropped a rope ladder from the sleigh for everyone to climb up. One by one, the class climbed up into the sleigh. Once everyone was in the sleigh, they departed for the North Pole.
Soon after takeoff, the sleigh started to splutter and stall. I have a spare can of diesel packed here somewhere, I'm sure, stuttered Santa unsurely. Luckily, the sleigh was right over Tullamore, and Fifth Class knew directions to Applegreen. The sleigh glided down and landed. Santa didn't want to be seen, so Sean, Coleman and Jack went into the shop to pay for the diesel and to get slushies and lots of goodies for the sleigh. As they strolled out of Applegreen with trolley loads of sweets and treats, a local Garda happened to be passing by. Where are ye three off to with all those sweets? Asked Garda Craven.
Suddenly, a very tall lady appeared. The lady was very unusual looking and a bit out of proportion. Her legs were extremely long in comparison to the rest of her body and strange hair, almost like a wig. "They're with me," stated the mysterious lady. "Oh, I'm very sorry. Carry on," replied the Garda. As soon as the Garda was out of sight, the tall lady removed her large coat and wig to reveal Naomi, Sarah and Eva Rose standing on each other's shoulders. "Let's go," shouted Naomi. "We need to get a move on," added Eva Rose. "We're parked out the back," said Sarah.
They all hurried back to sleigh to set off to the North Pole. While flying, Keane quizzed Santa about where the elves were. Well, the elves were kidnapped by Donald Trump. He's using them so he can finish building his wall. He'll get them to make endless supplies of fake tans, joked Katie. He wants to ruin Christmas for everyone, added Miles. Where are they being kept, wondered Shane.
He has them in the White House at the moment, but he won't be there for much longer, exclaimed Santa. "We must save them," cried Claire. Santa then declared that it wasn't time to save the elves. It was time to save Christmas first. "We can help save them," said Roshan. "Let's worry about saving Christmas first," Sam declared. For the rest of the journey, everyone took turns being co-pilot.
After a while, the sleigh arrived at the North Pole. Mrs. Claus gave everyone a quick tour of the workshop, so everyone knew where they would be working and what they were doing. She then assisted everyone a task. Each job was very important. Everyone was flat out working. David was sewing Liverpool jerseys and pumping footballs. Maya was wrapping presents. Keane was making bicycles. Naomi was testing and tuning guitars.
Dara was making pearls and stitching awfully jerseys while also making toys and cars. Sam was making teddy bears. Coleman was testing all the toys to make sure there was no falls. Katie was making badminton rackets. Roisin was binding books. Sarah was tying ribbons around all presents. Maya had wrapped and attaching the labels carefully so no gift went to the wrong home. Sean, Shane and Jack were working together to make tractors. Miles was making pins and clips for loaders and bicycles. Eva Rose was reading letters
from children for Santa to make sure they got what they wanted. Eva was making presents and helping Santa. Claire was packing toys into stacks. Summer was also reading the letters from children that Santa to make sure everyone got what they wanted. Marie was making stacks from children's for their presents. Everyone worked tirelessly for 8 hours every day.
In every spare moment, fifth class also had to work tirelessly doing various other jobs. David was sewing Santa's clothes. Dara and Sarah were riding the reindeer, while Roisin and Sam were grooming them so they were ready for their long journey. Maya polished Rudolph's nose. Sean and Coleman test rode the sleigh, while Coleman had an additional crucial job of making tea and toast to keep everyone well fed. Jack cleaned Santa's beard.
Keen and Singh cleaned and organised the workshop as the toys were being made and loaded into the sleigh. Claire trained the baby reindeer and Katie played with the baby reindeer at their breaks. Katie also had the job of helping Santa warm up for the busy night. Naomi was in charge of playing music to keep everyone entertained and help Miles spray paint the sleigh. Eve Rose checked who was on the naughty or nice list. It was Summer's job to feed the baby reindeer.
Eva helped out around the workshop. Marie made sure the hot chocolate and cookie machine was working in order on the sleigh. After a week of hard work and effort, the presents were ready. Fifth class were exhausted. All of the effort and endless work paid off. Santa was ready and the reindeers were ready. It's time to deliver the goodies to the children around the world.
Jack and Katie had Santa fit and ready to go. David, Sean, Miles and Coleman had the sleigh shining and ready to go. Sarah, Sam, Dara, Roisin, Maya, Naomi, Katie, Claire, Eve, Rose and Summer had Rudolph and all the reindeers gleaming, well fed, well trained and ready for the journey ahead. Coleman and Marie had everyone well fed. All that was left to do was to bring fifth class back home.
On the way home, Santa explained how after Christmas he'd be needing fifth class's help once again. As soon as he had all the presents safely delivered, he'd be leaving for the White House in search of the elves. His job would be made a lot easier with the help of fifth class. Santa landed and everyone climbed back onto the ladder into the classrooms. The class soon realised that their journey to the North Pole only took a few seconds in real time. Mr. Scully was still at the printer and he arrived back from the printer to find his class quietly working and everything was normal except...
What happened to the ceiling? Asked Mr. Scully, sounding confused. Summer began to explain what happened. Santa came and brought us to the North Pole to save Christmas, she explained. Mr. Scully refused to believe her and thought the class were trying to trick him. Yeah, sure, and I became a ninja and saved Easter last year, he joked sarcastically. The class kept trying to explain. The more they argued, the more Mr. Scully refused to believe them and was getting more and more annoyed. Somebody got out the wrong side of the bed, whispered Eva.
It was nearly home time, due to the state of the ceiling and the class attempt to trick him as he thought. Mr. Scully gave the class extra homework. Everyone was disappointed. They headed home for the evening. Soon after the class had gone home, Mr. Scully was packing his bag. He was still annoyed over what happened to the ceiling. As he walked to his table, he noticed a couple of large boot prints on the carpet. That's strange, he thought. Maybe Tony was having a look at the damage. He was even more confused when he asked Tony had he called in to have a look, and Tony hadn't the foggiest idea what he was even talking about. Mr. Scully then glanced up at the hole in the ceiling. He was very confused to see Santa's hat hanging from the hole in the ceiling.
1.
As he sat down, he reached under the table to grab his laptop bag and lunchbox. As he did, he felt something moving. It was wet and it felt like it was licking his hand. He was shocked to see a red-nosed reindeer under his table with a small package beside it. The reindeer quickly leaped up and flew out the hole in the ceiling. The package had a note on it. It read, "Just because you didn't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen." It's safe to say Mr. Scully believed the story and gave 5th class no homework the following week. For the next 3 weeks, Tony was flat out fixing the roof. The end. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed our story. Have a happy, safe and healthy Christmas from everyone in 5th class.
1.